So, first week down, it's been good. It's a little bit of a challenge because I've done plenty of juice feasts in the past. I kind of know what to expect. But if you're new to this, the first week can be a little bit of a challenge. Not eating food, only drinking juices. So typically the first few days, you know, it's completely new. You're not going to be eating any food, so you feel a little bit funny, a little bit off. And also, initially you can have a bit of a funny tummy, have some bowel movements, so you feel a little bit off. A little bit sort of lightheaded perhaps, because you're not eating the food, and it's just a completely different lifestyle. So it feels a little odd. But anyway, first few days, therefore, you know, not feeling great, quite a lot of insomnia, so that's not great, not getting much sleep, so you're tired during the day, your tummy's feeling a little bit gurgly and funny. But that's okay, not too bad, first 3 or 4 days. And now the last 2 or 3 days, I've been feeling great. Lots of energy, lots of sort of power and vibrancy to get things done during the day. None of that heaviness of the food that you've been eating to weigh you down and to use up a large part of your metabolism. You know, a lot of your energy is used up digesting food, so when you're juice feasting, you don't need to be digesting any food, so that energy is freed up, and as the days go by, you're going to find that you have more and more energy, more and more vibrancy. And that's been the case with me. I've been running every morning with the dogs, you know, gentle running, just jogging, a couple of kilometres, 2 kilometres every morning. We walk about 5 kilometres every morning, at least 5 kilometres every morning, for about 45 minutes, and I run a couple of those kilometres, jog a couple of those kilometres. And that's been good. Less pain on my joints now after basically a week of juice feasting, because I'm lighter and you can feel it. I feel my knees are much better, because in the past, another reason, a major factor behind me going down the routes of the raw fruits and vegetables and juice feasting being a wonderful part of the whole process, is because for about 10 years I could run, and I did run, but often with a lot of pain. My knee's getting worse and worse year on year. I'm almost 50 years old now. I'm going to be 50 in March next year. So basically, since my late 30s until now, more than 10 years actually, when I run or play sport, my knees are ranging from a little bit painful to very painful to extremely painful at some times, in which case I have to stop and I can't play or I can't run. Since switching to fruits and vegetables and juice feasting, etc., basically during the process of a juice feast, that pain in my knees completely disappears. Right now, before I started, when I was eating, let's say, standard American diet, I would rate my knees as 2 out of 10. You know, really bad, uncomfortable, painful, especially if I ran. If I was walking, not so bad, barely any pain. Running, sometimes a lot of pain. Right now, I'd rate them at about, after 1 week of juice feasting, I would rate them at maybe a 5 out of 10. But I know that as the weeks go by, we're going to be back up to like 9 out of 10. But at the moment, 5 out of 10 after 1 week of juice feasting. So yeah, first few days a little bit tough. Last few days getting significantly better, feeling much better, getting into the rhythm of juicing, what I want to juice, how I want to juice, how quickly I can juice and get that process out of the way, because obviously that takes up time, and you don't want to be juicing all day, so it takes up your life. You want to get the juicing down so you can do it quickly and then get on with your life. A little tip, I in the past have experienced when I'm juice feasting and water fasting, i.e. when I'm detoxing, not so much when I'm just eating normally. You know, standard American diet or even the starch solution, which is a cooked, low-fat vegan diet with the emphasis on starches, sweet potatoes, rice, corn, quinoa, oats, bread, pasta, spaghetti, these kinds of things. When I ate that way, I would feel absolutely fine. But when I started to do water fasting or juice feasting, one of the significant detoxing reactions that I would get would be nausea and a little bit of an upset tummy, nausea, headaches. And at times they could be, you know, quite debilitating. Well, just out of luck, this is a few years back now, whilst juicing, I would often add lemons or limes to my juices because it adds a really nice kind of sharp tang to your juices. And if you're juicing greens are not that palatable, but you add in a little bit of fruit. Apples are probably my go-to, and some lemon or lime, and it gives it a really nice little edge, which actually makes the juice really tasty. But what I discovered, which was really awesome, was that, and I adjusted it over time because it took me months to figure it out, but eventually I worked out that the lemon/limes were really helpful for my nausea and headaches and general detoxing symptoms. So now I've kind of got it down, and I basically, for every litre of juice I make, I juice 4 limes in Thailand, because limes are very inexpensive. I can buy a whole bag of about 20 large limes for about £1.80, so that's not bad. So and the fact is that they're very beneficial, and basically I don't really suffer from any nausea or headaches anymore. So that's been a wonderful addition. And if any of you are interested in starting your own juice feast, and you do suffer on occasion from detox symptoms in general, aches and pains, but specifically headaches and nausea, try 4 limes or lemons juiced into 1 litre of juice. See if that helps. I suspect it will. A little indication of what I've been drinking. I'm not drawn to greens in particular. I am drawn to greens, but not as, you know, green juices are not my thing. They don't appear appetizing to me, and they don't taste that good. So I've never been someone who's been like, got to get my green juices in. No. I drink my juices at roughly 60-40 is my split. That's what works for me. So 60% fruit juice and 40% greens, and I mix them into a single juice. So what I've been juicing pretty much for the entire week, really, because it's what my body is craving, and I'm loving it, is basically apples, which forms the 60% of the fruit juice, with the remaining 40% coming from carrots, celery, romaine, cucumbers, and the limes. So tasty. All of those I store in my fridge. I have 2 large fridges, so I can store all my fruit and vegetables. Another little tip storing vegetables. When you get your vegetables back from the supermarket, I roll them in a small towel and put them in the fridge. So I've got like probably 10 towels with vegetables rolled up inside the towels, and it stops them from getting soggy and sort of like becoming nasty in the fridge. Keeps them fresh, I find, for an awful lot longer, so I think it's a good tip. If you keep them in a plastic bag, they get wet, and they start to rot and become mouldy. If you keep them in the brown paper bag, that works better, but eventually the brown paper bag gets wet and the whole thing goes mouldy again. If you put them inside a towel, not a big towel, you cut the towels down, or you just get little hand towels, and you just wrap the celery into the towel, just roll it over, and lasts a lot longer, it stays a lot fresher. So that's the juice I've been really enjoying recently, and I just keep going with the same combination until my body says, and that could be for weeks, or it could be just 1 week or 1 day, but I keep going until I think, I want something else. And other things I will regularly juice are watermelons are great. I suppose watermelons and apples. Pineapples, love pineapples as well. Those are probably my go-to juices in terms of the fruit. And then the greens are always the same. Celery, cucumber, romaine, carrot, and lemon, or lime. So I think that's it for now. Yes, I'm feeling really good. Weeks down, it's really nice to get the first week down. I don't even think about food now. After 1 week, food doesn't interest me because I'm feeling so good on the juice. I've got all the energy I need. Obviously, I'm getting all the vitamins and minerals. As you think how much, how many vitamins and minerals you're getting in all of those fruits and vegetables. And the desire for food goes away because the juice is so, it makes you feel so light, and obviously you are getting lighter because you're losing weight. You're getting more hydrated. You can feel from your bowel movements that you're getting rid of unwanted waste. Basically feeling good now, and looking forward to continuing this 100-day juice feast. Major issues I had was this problematical skin. I had very acidic perspiration, so if I didn't wash my face before I went to bed at night, I'd wake up in the morning with a huge rash all over my face and neck, and it was obvious because it was the way that it itched and sort of just was raw and inflamed and uncomfortable, that my perspiration was acidic. I could feel it. I could actually feel the acid on my skin, virtually eating up and inflaming my skin. So I had to be very careful when I was younger that I washed my face regularly throughout the day, especially if I was playing a lot of sport, and I was always playing a lot of sport. So that was an issue I had to be take care of. On fruits and vegetables and on juices, within a week, or for example now, 1 week in on my juice feasting, that's just gone. I maintain usual cleanliness, wash my face before I go to bed, but I am very much aware that my perspiration is no longer acidic, which makes my skin a lot more comfortable. I don't get these big red blotches, and that's been it's a lovely bonus by switching to a healthier diet. Generally, my mood on a standard American diet, even on a better diet, a starch solution diet, which is a vegan diet, a low-fat vegan diet, but which allows you to have cooked foods. I felt infinitely better. I feel infinitely better on this cooked, low-fat vegan diet than I ever felt on a standard American diet. Relatively healthy meat, veg and potatoes kind of diet. Much better mood as I take out the animal foods, the dairy, and the fats, and as I move to the fruits and vegetables, my mood elevates without any effort. Just wake up in the morning and feel infinitely better. Throughout the day I get on with what needs to be done, feeling much more positive, much happier. I don't feel like, I'm not like in bliss all the time and some fuddy-duddy emotional high. No, I just simply feel infinitely better. I just don't have those down moods that I would have from time to time eating the standard American diet. So diet that you eat can transform your emotional physical and mental state. I mean, and this is from personal experience, it's transformational. It's a radical difference from literally running along at a low level in your life, and then when you switch to the fruits and vegetables, now it can take time, and a really great way to transition is to go the route of juice feasting. Your emotional, mental state just rises significantly. So that's a really another really nice benefit. I used to have every year, I'm not sure if I mentioned this already, but I would have the flu or a cold, at least a couple of times a year. That would be typical. I would get these earaches where somehow or other I would seem to get a little bit of water perhaps trapped in my ear canal, and then some little infection would result, and I'd end up getting a boil or a cyst or some sort of something like that inside my ear canal, and as that became inflamed, it would partially block my hearing. This would only last for a week or 10 days, but really uncomfortable during that time. You can't hear out of one ear, and you feel as though you've got fluid in that ear all the time. Switch to fruits and vegetables, gone. Never arises whilst I'm eating fruits and vegetables. The minute I slip back, the flus, the colds, the earaches, the acidic perspiration, the painful back, the hip problem, the pangs in the heart, the throbbing in my lower left calf, things which, general aches and pains, general stiffness, all gone when I go to fruits and vegetables. That's my only personal experience, and if you go online and look up other people who have done long-term juice feasts or have long-term switched to a fruits and vegetables, a low-fat fruits and vegetables diet, you're going to find the same types of testimonies where people are just consistently saying they feel better in this way, in that way. Blood pressure is significantly reduced, mood elevated, aches and pains gone, bad back gone, painful knees gone, high blood sugar readings gone. A note, if you do have blood sugar problems, you can still do the juice feasting, and you can still do just as long as anyone else. You can still do a 100-day juice feast if that's what you'd like to do. Very beneficial. But you would need to, as I said earlier, I mix about 60% fruit juice with 40% vegetable juice. Well, if you've got blood sugar problems, you're going to need to go a much higher percentage of the vegetables and the greens. Because you don't want to, because obviously the sugar might be too much for you initially. So you might want to look at 80% of each litre of juice, 80% of it comes from greens and vegetables, carrots, and romaine lettuce and cucumbers and this sort of thing. Only just 20% fruit juice. Would you call it constipation? Not necessarily, because my bowel movements would generally seem fine, but I may only have 4 or 5 bowel movements a day. A day, jeez! 4 or 5 bowel movements a week. Now, when you switch to fruits and vegetables, you'll find that you have a bowel movement every day, and over time, as you persist and your body becomes healthier, and your small intestine, your colon start to work and digest and function more efficiently, you'll end up having, potentially 2 or even 3 bowel movements per day. So, and it feels right. It feels right. So it's all of my everything that I'm suggesting here on YouTube is based upon my own personal experience. Of course, everyone's different, but if you look at other people who've switched their diets in the way that I'm discussing and have gone on long-term juice feasts, you'll discover that they're all saying similar things. And one of them is it will help your digestion and elimination tremendously. So I think that's all I want to say for now, and I look forward to seeing you in next week's video. And so it's goodbye from me, and goodbye from the Diddy.